Do you have a literal passion for fire? Does the idea of having a water cannon for an arm appeal to you in any capacity? Did you read the title of the video and just want me to get into it already? Regardless of whether or not you answered yes to any of my inquiries, I am Ian and this is the Streets of Rogue character guide to the Firefighter. I don't wanna set the world on fire. The Firefighter is unlocked via extinguishing 5 flames in a single run. As for your backstory, it reads, fire hoses are pretty effective, but they're so big and unwieldy. So what's the more effective solution? According to the mayor, chop off the arms of firefighters and install state-of-the-art water cannons on the nub. While this has led to a moderate improvement in fire control effectiveness, it has caused firefighter morale to plummet, what with all the unwanted mutilation and such. As for your starting setup, your endurance and speed, much like real firefighters, are above average set to 3, with your other attributes set to an average of 2. In regards to your starting gear, you have a fire extinguisher, a fun form of crowd control that can put out fires if you feel like it, a flamethrower because we all know what you really want to be doing here, an oil canister because apparently fighting fire with fire needs to be taken as literally as possible, 3 Molotov cocktails because of course you have those in your starting inventory, and the last item you start with in your inventory is a lighter for when you run out of ammo for your flamethrower and you want to start a barbecue. Surprisingly, the Firefighter does not start with an axe of any kind, which is weird to me, but oh well. As for your traits, you have Team Building Expert, which raises your follower cap from 1 to 3. Scorching Survivor, this trait allows you to rush into burning buildings without fear of the owners asking you to leave the building you're intruding into, even if you are the one who started the fire. Just be sure that other NPCs don't see you giving love taps to buildings with your flamethrower. Next on your trait list, we have Fireproof Skin. This one's pretty self-explanatory, it reduces all damage you receive from fire by 40%. Lastly, among your starting traits, you have Inferno Assistant, making it so that you get XP for putting out fires that you didn't start. Fires starting for reasons other than you are normally rare, but your big quest will fix that, but before we can cover that, we need to explain your special ability, Water Cannon. As explained in your character's backstory, you have a water cannon for an arm. This water cannon lets you put out fires, the lives of robots, or even the lives of other NPCs if a bottomless pit can be found. This special ability, however, does have an ammo capacity, meaning you can't just spam the water cannon at every single thing you see 24/7. Still, despite this factor, it's still an excellent form of crowd control for situations such as when you're stuck in a zombie outbreak and need something to keep the zombies off your back as you scavenge for weapons to fight off the horde of zombies with. If at any point in the game you find yourself running low on ammo for your water cannon, don't worry, it's very easy to restock. Simply take a dip in a swimming pool, pond, or any other body of water, or simply smash a fire hydrant with your bare fists and stand in the spray of water. And keeping this ability topped off to deal with the occasional fires caused by your big quest is going to be essential if you want to be successful with this character. Speaking of your big quest, let's move on to that. Your big quest is called Firewatch. In this quest, you must put out fires set by arsonists. Arsonists are NPCs with orange arrows over their head. There won't be any when you first arrive on a floor, but sometimes when you're walking nearby someone, an arrow will magically appear over their head and it will get Molotovs to set people on fire with, and they will actively try to burn as much stuff as humanly possible when this occurs. Thankfully, however, the NPCs who become arsonists are only going to have a finite supply of Molotovs and are easily marked through an orange arrow over their head that you can teleport to. Combine this with the fact that only 2 to 3 arsonists can spawn on a given floor and that they can only spawn when in immediate proximity to you, and you have a recipe for easy success since you don't have to worry about someone randomly becoming an arsonist on the opposite side of the map and burning down a building when you weren't looking. And while yes, these arsonists will run away from you as they set stuff on fire, since they have an orange arrow over their head, you can teleport to them at will, meaning as long as you keep an eye out for these arsonists spawning in on a floor, you should be able to keep track of where the fires start and put them out before you end up having too much property damage occur. Ironically, one of the best tactics I have found for dealing with this big quest is to preemptively set stuff on fire with your flamethrower. The reason this is a good tactic is for 2 simple reasons. 1, things that you set on fire don't count against you on this big quest, and 2, you can't exactly burn down the city as an arsonist if someone else already did your job for you. Another interesting workaround with this big quest is to simply try to complete a floor as quickly as possible before the arsonists have a chance to spawn in on a given floor. After all, if they end up spawning in as you use the exit elevator, chances are that whatever they set on fire with their cocktails are not going to have enough time to actually destroy the object in question before you select your level up traits and move on to the next floor. Still, if you don't care about how long it takes for you to reach the mayor's village, as long as you do, and want to get as much XP as possible for the journey, you may wish to stick around on any given floor in order to farm as much XP as possible from these arsonists by using your Inferno Assailant trait to put out the fires they start. If less than 3 objects were destroyed on a given floor via fires that you didn't start, you'll end up getting an XP boost for completing your big quest on a given floor. And if you manage to reach the mayor's village having less than 45 objects being destroyed in total via fires that you didn't start, you'll gain complete fire immunity and your water cannon will be buffed, giving it unlimited ammo and enhanced knockback, as well as the ability to stop bullets. All in all, I give the Firefighter a Cobra effect out of 10. You'd expect a firefighter to diligently patrol areas in order to ensure fires are put out as quickly as possible, if not outright prevented. But with this character, you're realistically going to be starting fires in order to prevent you having to be responsible for their extinguishing altogether. Or you'll end up blitzing through an area as quickly as possible in order to pretend you were never there in the first place so that when shit hits the fan, you're not liable. And let's not even get started with the complete disregard you'll be having for human life in this game as a general rule of thumb. That's all for now, though. Like the video if you did, subscribe if you don't want to miss the next one, comment what characters you want to see me cover in the future. I've been Nian, you have been you, and this has been the Streets of Rogue character guide to the Firefighter. And stay tuned, the Jock is coming up next.